Okay, in problem number 5, if a quadratic equation has x is equal to negative 1/4 and x minus 3 as the solutions, what is the quadratic equation? So here we're actually going from the solutions all the way back to the standard form. So, and as you can see, we have 4 standard forms. So which one is? So we got two things. We can either use the solutions to write the intercept form and then expand to get the standard form. Or we can just graph the answer choices, which are all graph these, and compare them with the x-intercepts that we're looking for. So let's look at strategy 1. So here are our two solutions here. If x is equal to negative 1/4, we learned from another lesson that means that gives us the factor, and I didn't put this thing nowhere close to where it should have been. That tells us that we should have 4. That tells me I have a factor of 4x plus 1. Because if x is a negative 1/4, then you're going to have that factor. And if I can just copy this arrow, I don't think let me clone this. And if x is equal to 3, then that gives me the factor x minus 3. All right, so that tells me that my solution or my equation then is, I need to clone this, times this. So multiply these, and I can do this with the box method, or, and that's probably the best way. We can just use a box method here. So it'd be nice if I built me a little box. Maybe I'll build me a little box here. Let's see, there, and there, and then there, and there, and there, and there. Okay, so we're doing a box method here. Let's move this out the way. So we got a 4x. We got a 1 there. We got an x. Got a negative 3 there. Okay, let's multiply all this out. We got a 4x squared in the first block here, and of course I need that to be an exponent. So all of our answers got 4x squared in them. And then we got an x here. And then we have a negative 12x. There. And then we got a negative 3. Well, let's look at our answer choices. We got 3 of them with negative 3, and got 3 of them with 4x squared. So this depends on what happens in the middle here. If we add a negative 12x and a positive x, we're going to end up with a negative 11x. So we're going to end up, our final choice, if I can just clone this, about 4x squared. Just showing you how we got it. That actually should be a plus in front of that. And then we got a negative 3 here. All right. And we need a plus. Okay, oops, come on up here. All right. Combining these middle terms, we end up with just 11x. And we can get rid of this here. Oh, wait. It doesn't want to disappear. Okay, now it's gone. So that points us clearly to choice C. So that's strategy number 1. Now, strategy number 2 tells us to graph the answer choices and compare with the x-intercepts. And since I already know that C is the answer, let's just show how C shows up as the answer. If we check this, if we go, that's the other graph, pretty. What if I graph 4x squared minus 11x minus 3, and we graph those, we can see our answer choices there. I'm going to go ahead and do a 0. And there's 1, 0. That's a negative 1/4. And even though we can see the other 0, the other 0 is 3. And again, that supports our choices as well. Okay, so you have two ways to deal with that one.